All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Will Kyle Shanahan ever get that elusive Super Bowl? God, Niner fans are hoping so. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera, and they're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Get some brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Krug sent you. And this video is also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Check them out. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Go say hi to my good friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. All right. Is Kyle Shanahan going to get a Super Bowl? I mean, we ask this question a lot. There's an awful lot of people who rip Shanahan. I still think he's one of the 4 or 5 best coaches in football. And you know, I think he's on the verge of breaking through and getting a Super Bowl. Why? Because if you really think about the NFL, what does it take to win the Super Bowl? You got to have a great coach and you got to have a great quarterback. It's as simple as that. How many teams in the NFL right now, where you could say great coach, great quarterback? Seriously, how many? Not just a handful. I would say Buffalo. They've got Josh Allen, and I think their head coach, McDermott, is a good coach. I think he's a really good defensive coach. So I don't know if he's a great coach, but I think he's good enough to win the Super Bowl. So Buffalo's a team. Good coach, great quarterback. Baltimore, John Harbaugh, Lamar. That's number 2. Possibly Cincinnati. I don't know if Zach Taylor's a great coach, but I think Joe Burrow's a great quarterback, and he might be a great enough quarterback to win even with Zach Taylor. So I'll put Zach Taylor and the Bengals in there. I'm gonna throw Houston in there. C.J. Stroud and D'Amico. I think D'Amico's a great young head coach. I think Stroud's a terrific young quarterback. They're on that list. Definitely Kansas City, right? Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They've proven they can do it. They're going for 3 in a row. The Chargers with Justin Herbert, who's below 500, but I still think he's a great talent, and Jim Harbaugh, who's kind of a proven entity. So right now in the AFC, you've got Chargers, Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Bengals, Bills. So I got 6 teams in the NFC that I would consider having a combo of a great quarterback and a great head coach. All right, let's jump to the NFC. I don't know. I mean, who do you got in the NFC? I don't think Sirianni's a great coach. So, I can't put the Eagles there, even though I think Hurts is a pretty damn good quarterback. Can't put Dallas there because I don't believe in McCarthy. Can't put the Commanders there because Jaden Daniels is too young. So who do you got in the NFC? Green Bay, Jordan Love, LaFleur, great young head coach, done nothing but win, and Jordan Love had a great, phenomenal bust-out year last year. I won't say Detroit because I don't think Goff's a great quarterback. I think you can get to Goff. I think the Niners proved it, and I'm not sure that, even though I like Dan Campbell, I don't know if he's a great head coach. So you got 1 in Green Bay. Who else do you got? Who else has got a great quarterback, great head coach? I don't see anybody else in the NFC South. I guess I would throw Rams in there for Sean McVay and Stafford, even though Stafford's a little long in the tooth. And I throw the Niners in there with Shanahan and Purdy. So you got 3 teams in the NFC and 6 in the AFC. So you got 9 teams in football that have that prerequisite box checked, where they have a great head coach and a great quarterback. So is Kyle Shanahan going to get a Super Bowl? There have been 3 head coaches in the Niners history to lead the Niners to multiple Super Bowls appearances. Bill Walsh, George Seifert, and Kyle Shanahan. Walsh and Seifert won all theirs. Shanahan has lost his 2. So, it's been an unattainable thing for Kyle Shanahan. He's 44 years old. And according to NFL research, history is not on his side. Shanahan after the loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 58 this year, became the 5th coach in NFL history to lose his first 3 Super Bowl appearances as either a head coach or a coordinator. This is per NFL research. None of the previous 4 coaches ever would go on to win a Super Bowl. So if you're just going on statistical trends, the stats say he's never getting there. Now, in each of Shanahan's Super Bowl defeats, the Super Bowl against the Patriots, where he was the OC of the Falcons, and of course the 2 Super Bowls against Kansas City, the Niners had 10-point leads, or his teams, the Niners and I guess the Falcons, had 10-point leads, at least 10-point leads in all 3 of those games, and lost all 3. And in each losing game, which included the only 2 overtime games in the history of the Super Bowl, Shanahan's offenses have really struggled under pressure in the fourth quarter. His offenses in those 3 games have combined for 9 points in the fourth quarter. What happens to his offense when the money's on the table? Or is it just about the fact that in Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, he never had the best quarterback? Is that why he lost those games? But for his career as a head coach, Shanahan's 8-4 in the playoffs. That's really good. That's 667 win percentage. That's pretty damn good. It's the highest win percentage in NFL history without winning an NFL championship or a Super Bowl. Well, once again, according to NFL research. So the Niners have had their chances. Since 2010, the 49ers have gone to 7 conference title games, the most in the NFC. But they're 3-4 in those 7 games, and they've got 0 Super Bowl victories to show for it. It's amazing. As a Niner fan, watching them, win their first 5 Super Bowls, 5 for 5. 5 Super Bowls appearances, 5 Super Bowl wins. Now they've gone 3 times, and they've lost all 3. They're 5-3. But it's funny. You look at, since 2010, in that same time frame, the Pats and the Chiefs are the only other teams to make 6 or more trips to the championship round. And each one of those teams won 3 Super Bowl crowns in that span. So will this be the season that the Niners, return to the top of the NFL mountain and Shanny finally gets over the hump? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's been very, very good in the regular season through 7 seasons as the 49ers head coach. Shanahan has accumulated a record of 64 wins and 51 losses. And he's reached the playoffs in the NFC Championship game 4 times. He's gotten to the Super Bowl twice. So he's had a ton of success. The Super Bowl victory is elusive. Some of the trends say it ain't going to happen. I say it is going to happen. And here's why. One man, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's damn good. Brock Purdy is a really good young quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback that Shanahan's ever had, even though, of course, Matt Ryan won the MVP. But I was looking at some of the stats for Purdy projected this year. They project his over-under on passing yards to be 3,900. So they're looking towards a 4,000-yard passing season. They're saying the over-under on touchdowns for Purdy this year will be 28.5. It's a lot. Over-under on Purdy interceptions, 10.5. So, he could come out with a year where he throws for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 8 picks or something like that, and is one of the front runners to win the MVP. I just think that Brock Purdy is a winner, and I think he plays on time. He's accurate. I think the 49ers have had a good roster. They'll continue to have a good roster. And I just think that Shanahan has not won a Super Bowl thus far because he's never had the best quarterback in the game. And he's always gone up against Mahomes and Brady, and talking about he's got 3 losses to, the 2 most successful quarterbacks of the last 25 years. So I think Purdy's going to continue to ascend, continue to get better. Maybe one of these years they'll miss Mahomes and get a matchup in the Super Bowl that's a little bit more favorable. Maybe Purdy will just continue to improve in year 3, and they'll be able to climb to the top of that mountain. But I think he's going to get his ring. If you said, be a betting man, bet either that Shanahan doesn't get a ring or does, I'll say that he does. And as far as Niner fans getting impatient with Shanahan, Eagles fans were pretty impatient with Andy Reid. They finally fired him after 13 seasons, and he didn't win the Super Bowl. And that was a mistake because he's now won 3 since he left there. So, a lot of people are like, oh, I think Shanahan's going to win a Super Bowl. I just don't know if it's going to be with the Niners. If I was Jed York, ride this out. You've gone with Shanahan and Lynch. This is now going on year 8. Give him 2, 3, 4 more years. Let's see if they can get it done. I really believe that when you have the quarterback and you have the head coach, you win Super Bowls. I think they've had the head coach. I don't think they've had the quarterback. Now they have both. And I think a Super Bowl's coming this year, next year. I think one's coming. So is Shanahan going to climb to the top of the mountain and be vindicated and win that Super Bowl title? I think he's going to win more than one. I think he's a damn good coach. I think his offense produces points. I think he's going to get a Super Bowl ring. I don't think he's had the right quarterback. I think he's got the right quarterback now. I think he gets at least 1 in the next 3 years and maybe 2 in the next 5. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Is Shanahan going to climb to the top of the mountain, or is he going to be the best head coach who just never quite got it done on Super Bowl Sunday? Tell me what you think. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy and Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.